Jesus Christ, Shirley! Someone's nicked wheels off bloody LandRover. Bastards! And they're my bloody breeze blocks as well. Bastards!
The Defender 110 is finally back outside where it belongs, in what will be her final resting place, because we're about ready to start stripping this old girl down. In the last video we created this amazing pop-up workshop with the sole purpose of restoring and refurbishing all of the parts that we take off her. But today guys, we are not messing about. Today the wheels are coming off, and when I say off, I mean they're literally coming off. That's right, the first job is to take the axles off, front and back. And I'll be honest guys, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. So I have seen a few YouTube videos where people have taken the axles off, but only one at a time, never both together. So this could be an interesting process. And look at this engine guys, look how clean that is after that clean and refurb. Looking good, and it also sounds good now with the K&N air filter. But anyway, let's have a look at this axle and see what we need to undo. Everything here looks pretty rusty. Definitely need some new springs, some new shocks, and definitely the brakes need an overhaul. But we'll get to all that, don't you guys worry. Right, under here, that looks a little bit worse for wear, so we'll definitely need a new one of them. And those bushings or whatever that is, that rubber has perished. So that all needs replacing, but that's okay because we're going to do that. The steering rods, they look to be new actually. Fairly new track rod ends, I think that's what they're called. Ball joints, are the ball joints? I don't know. Anyway, it's had new ones, but we'll probably refurbish this bar, get it sandblasted, painted, looking nice. You better believe it. Right, let's have a look down here. Ooh, a bloody hole in the floor. You can see right through the cab. What a rock box. No, but in all honesty guys, look under here now. Look at this. Look at this shiny thing. Lovely. Look at the floor. Shiny metal. Lovely. That is looking nice. Anyway, we digress. What are we looking for? Right, the axle. So, the front axle here and the suspension is held on with this long radial arm or radius arm, something like that. You correct me in the comment boxes. It's something like that. I think it's a radius arm. Or radial arm, I don't know. Anyway, this metal thing comes along here and bolts in to the chassis there. So that bolt looks pretty crusty and pretty seam sealed on, so that might be fun to get off. But it's obviously all perished there, so that all needs to come off and be replaced. But there's one of them on both sides, so I think we definitely need to disconnect that bolt. And then if I come back up, that connects to the axle. And then obviously we've got these shock towers here, which connect the shock at the top, and then the shock goes through the springs and then connects under there. So I think we need to disconnect, either take this off or disconnect the shock from there so this can all come down. And then I think that's about it. Anything else on the axle? Oh yeah, well we've got these steering arms, yeah. So that steering arm, you can see it here, needs disconnecting, but we might just take all of this off anyway, because that is a good chance to just refurbish and get all that sandblasted and grinded back and painted so it's looking nice. And we've got a lovely little workshop to do that now as well, that pop-up workshop. So the front axle, basically, we need to take this shock off, disconnect these radial arms or radius arms or whatever they are, and then disconnect this steering rackage, and then that should just come out. Oh, there's also the prop shaft there, that prop shaft there, so that'll need disconnecting, but that shouldn't be too big a job. And then come around the back end, we've got a proper crusty arm here, proper crusty, so that needs to come off, and we'll probably need a new one of them because that looks not nice. And then the shocks connect up here to the top, and I have penetrated them, I have sprayed some penetrated fluid on them to hopefully make sure the bolts are nice and loose. And then what else have we got connecting this rear axle on? Probably, I think, other than the shocks and those crusty pipes, just that rear prop shaft, or drive shaft if you're American. Yeah, I think that's it. So, plan, we need to get this in the air. So that means, guys, it's time to break out some tools. Oh yes. That's right, guys, it's time to bring out the green, mean, rusty bolt loosening machine. Oh yeah. And I've also bought a brand new heavy duty jack. This bad boy here, Halfords Advanced. And 2 sets of 4-ton Halfords Advanced jacks or axle stands. And I bought them about a month before I even bought that old girl, because I was kind of convinced I was going to buy it when I went to see it. So there was an offer on a Halford, so I thought, right, I'll get them just in case I buy it. And lo and behold, what I do, of course I bought it. And what can I say, guys? I've never looked back. Right, let's see what you get for your money. Ooh, nice. Spongy. Oh, that looks heavy duty enough. We'll be lifting this old girl up in no time. You better believe it. Oh, come on, Betty. Oh, Jesus Christ. Woo. Woo. Oh yeah, professional. Look at that bad boy. Nice. Right, let's have a look at these axle stands. Oh, shiny. Nice. Oh yeah, look at them. Oh, and they even rise themselves. I'm afraid, guys, in Dad's garage is starting to look rather professional with all this gear. So I think the first job before we get this in the air is to go around and loosen all of these wheel nuts, just in case, for whatever reason, they're properly seized on, because I don't want to jack this up, get it on stands, and then not be able to undo one of these bolts for some stupid reason. So let's do that first. That one. Too big. That one. Too small. That one must be just right. Oh yeah. Oh Jesus. Oh, whoo. Right. That's all them bad boys loose, so they should come off nice and easy with a big dac gun. Let me now talk you through the plan of how I'm going to get this in the air, and talk you through also what's under here. Right guys, so the plan is to get all 4 wheels off the ground in one go. Now I do have obviously the shiny new axle stands there, but I don't know if I want to use them as the sole kind of thing that lifts the vehicle off the ground, if you know what I mean, because I'm probably going to need them for when I get the axles out to rest the axles on and various other things. So what my thinking is, my genius thinking is, I've got down here a load of breeze blocks from when I built this garage, so they've been left over and down there for a couple of years now. So what I think I'm going to do is attempt to jack up one end and basically put like a little wall, not a wall, but like a row, not a row, a column of breeze blocks under here and then under there, and basically rest the chassis at both sides on these breeze blocks. And then what I can do is just add the axle stands at both ends, maybe like on here and here, just to give it a little bit of extra stability, so when the whole chassis is rested and on and the axles are completely off, it's kind of not going to rock or tip, hopefully. That's the idea anyway. So now you know the plan, let's give that a go and hope that the chassis doesn't snap in half when we start jacking it up. Woo! Right guys, so that is the breeze blocks underneath the chassis. So at the moment as it stands, there's 4 blocks high. I've put 4 stacks each corner. That one doesn't quite get the 4th on because the way the chassis is at the moment, because it's so rusted in that back corner by the suspension, it's kind of leaning over, but that's okay. So my thinking is I'm going to have to somehow try and jack up the front and the rear from the diffs to kind of get the height up a bit, maybe 1 more block's worth. Stick the block underneath, that 5th block on all 4 corners, and then lower it back down. And then that way, hopefully, it'll be kind of stable. But I bet you're probably watching this now thinking, that looks sketchy as beep. And you're probably right, guys. The problem I've got here is if I put a block there, then I'm not going to be able to get this off. So I'm probably going to have to maybe jack up the rear axle first, put it on some axle stands around here, under there, have a go at taking this axle off, and then jacking it up, putting the rear blocks on, lowering it down, and then coming around the front and working on the front. Because my thinking is, if the rear axle's off and the wheels are off, there'll be less weight to kind of tip it. The front's obviously going to be the most heaviest, so we need to get the central, or the centre of gravity right in the front, because we don't want any kind of wheelies going on in Dad's garage drive. That won't be great. But I'll be honest, guys, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. So I think I'm just going to give it a go and see what happens. So let's crack on. Well, she's up in the air. It does make me nervous though. Right, guys, I think we're on. She is spinning freely. Oh yeah. She's rested on here. 5 blocks either side. We've got the little trolley jack, the old trusty trolley jack, just providing a little bit of counterbalance at the front in case we get a bit of tippage. And then at the back, we've got 2 of the new axle stands up there on a breeze block at the rear of the chassis. Shouldn't really go anywhere unless the chassis is rusted that much. They go straight through. Well, let's hope not. Right, so with these temporary jacks at the back, I think the first thing we can do is take these rear wheels off and then see if we can get this crusty bar off in the drive shaft, because once these 2 are off, we can put these blocks under here as well for some extra stability. So let's do that now. So with the wheels off, we can attempt to loosen the big bolt holding the rear axle arm and the 4 bolts connecting the drive shaft. Oh, right guys, schoolboy error. I can't undo these prop shaft or drive shaft bolts because every time I try to turn them, the bloody wheels spin. So I'm going to have to put the wheels back on, lower it down, get some grip on the floor, and then see if I can crack them with a 9/16, because they seem to be the only bolt on the truck that isn't metric. Nice.
Silly you, what did you think?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That took a hell of a lot longer than it should have. Right, let's see if we can disconnect this prop shaft and then get these bloody wheels back off again. Go on, Bennett. Oh, yeah, boy. What you down there? Nice. So with the drive shaft coming off fairly easily, we can now turn our attentions to the rusty bolts holding on the rear axle arm and the rear shock. And this is where the real work starts. Yeah, buddy. With those big rusty bolts coming off fairly easy on both sides, now it's just a case of taking off the rear shocks. So being slightly defeated by the rear shock, I decided to revert my attentions to the rear airframe, which just supports the rear diff. This is held in place with 2 long bolts, so I just get the wire brush on the bolts, clean them up a little bit, spray them with some WD-40, and then get the DAC gun on them. Oh, professional. Right guys, so that is the nut off this crusty bar, the nut off the top of that shock, the bolts out of that swingy arm thing. So now all I really need to do is just work out how I get this shock off here without everything springing down and killing me or breaking something. So it's probably dead easy and you're probably screaming at the camera now, you just got to do this, but you ain't here, so I'm going to work it out. I'll persist a little bit more and I'll check back in a second when this bad boy is ready to come down. Ooh. Jesus Christ on a bike. What a job that's been. Unbelievable. God. Right, let's do the other side now. Buy a Defender, they say. It'll be easy to work on, they say. Yeah, right. Oh, this is fucking horrible. What a job. This fucking bastard. Oh my God, guys, what an absolute nightmare that has been. Hours of work, believe it or not. It's taken me ages to get this friggin' shock loose so I could drop the whole axle. I've had to cut the springs, I've had to grind nuts off, I've had to multi-tool rubber things and everything. What an app. I'm covered in grease and mud and muck and chlamydia and whatever else. It's been a nightmare, but she's finally off. She's finally loose. She's on the axle stands. So this bad boy is ready to come out. I think I'm going to need a little bit of a tidy up because I have used pretty much every single tool in Dad's garage over the course of the last 3 hours. But let's have a little tidy up, clean all of this crap up, put the tools away, and then I think we'll see if we can pull that out. Oh, Jesus. Right guys, so we had a little clean up. It's looking a lot better here now. And you'll notice there's nothing here holding the back end of the truck up. Now, interestingly, the blocks that I put here seem to be accidentally perfect in the middle for counterweight. So it's holding the whole weight of that back end and the front end's on the ground. So we've got the perfect, I think it's called pivot point. Anyway, so happily that's given us a bit of room at the back here to get under and get that axle out. And I've just put a few more blocks here just in case it does tip back a bit. So it should be plenty secure. But we've got loads of good space here now to get this bloody axle out since I've been on it for like 4 hours now. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got my little crawler trolley and a bit of wood on top. So I'm just going to try and swing that around under there, maybe long ways, and just maybe lift one end up at a time, move the axle stand, bring it around, drop it. Kind of a juxtaposition jobby, but we'll do that now and then hopefully swing that bad boy out.
Strength! Ugh.
Ah, that's why. There's a brake line attached. That would explain it. Quite tight, that. Right, I'll undo the brake line and then it should come out dead easy. I bet you guys were just watching that as well. You could see exactly what was happening. What a clown. Yeah, I'll be honest, that ain't coming off. I'm just going to cut it. We ain't messing around now. Oh, come on, yeah. One rear Defender 110 axle out. Oh, just gonna have a little lie down. Oh, wake me up in a few hours. Oh, fucking hell. Right guys, after that little lie down, I feel so much better. So I think we've got a plan for the front and we're going to do this much more quickly. Let me show you. We are learning from our mistakes. This time we are not going to be defeated. So the first job, while the wheels make contact with the floor, is disconnect that drive shaft. Then we're going to disconnect this steering rod arm, track rod arm thingy-mabob. Then we're going to jack the car up. We're going to take the wheels off. Then we'll take off this panard roddy thingy-mabob, and then we'll disconnect the brake lines on both sides. Then we'll come back down here and we're going to loosen these really big bolts that I'm sure will come off dead easy. And finally we'll loosen this bolt here on either side of the strut tower. And then that, guys, should be it. And then all we need to do then is lower the car down. Well, lower the axle down. Just like that. So first to come off is the front drive shaft, just taking off those 4 bolts. Oh, yeah, boy. Professional. Nice. Next, we can remove the steering arm and the panhard rod at the front. Or at least we can try to. Of course it is. Oh, Jesus. Oh, professional. And with all of those out the way, we can then jack the car up once again, take the front wheels off. This then reveals the super rusty axles, suspension and brakes on both sides. Next, we can cut both the brake lines and let that excess brake fluid drain into some empty containers. Then we can tackle the big rusty bolts. First, loosen them off with a breaker bar and then get the big dac gun just to finish them off. And then finally lube up and crack the nut on the steering arm. Boing. Right, guys, I've just had a little look around and I think the only thing left holding this front axle on is these 2 top mounts. These shock absorber top mount bolts there. So I think if I jack up this axle and then undo both of these top mounts, that should just let the whole thing drop down. I've cut the brake lines, they're off. I've disconnected this panhard rod and this, whatever that is, off there. I didn't need to do this steering ball joint arm rod thing because it's part of the axle, but that will come off when the axle's off because we'll probably, again, refurbish all them, put new ball joints on and stuff like that. So I think all that's left to do, guys, pop these 2 nuts and then see if she comes down. Nice. Right, guys, moment of truth. Let's see if she comes down without a fuss. Stick you there. Ho ho ho, you better believe it. Nice. Yeah, boy. Oh, nice. All right, just got to get this son of a bitch out of here. And then we're off. Oh boy. Come on. Oh. Oh, yes. You better believe it. Front axle off. Whew. Well, guys, what a job that was. Let me get cleaned up a little bit and make sure this bad boy isn't going to fall that way or that way or that way or this way. Yoo-hoo! And then I'll get Big Kev to give me a hand getting these bad boy axles into the new workshop over there, and then we'll regroup, we'll have a look at them, and you can help me work out what parts we're going to need to order for the next video when we start refurbishing both of these. And I've got to be honest, guys, I'm ready for a beer and a wash. Whew. Right, guys, so we are back in the pop-up workshop and the axles have now joined us, both of them down there. Me and Big Kev, who is strong like bull, helped bring these in, and this one here, this rear one, this Salisbury or Salisbury, however you want to pronounce it, is friggin' heavy. I don't know if any of you guys have tried to lift one of these before, but my God, it weighs a ton. The front one wasn't too much lighter, and I even took the hubs off as well to try and make it a little bit lighter, but still bloody heavy. Anyway, we managed. As you can see guys, I have given them a little pressure wash just to clean them up a little bit so we don't get too much grease in the new workshop, but they haven't come out too bad to be honest, and I think with a nice sandblast and a little bit of a grind here and there, they should come out really, really nicely. But one thing I do need you guys to let me know is, what do I paint these with once they're all clean? Do I use Hammerite? Do I use red oxide and then something else? What do you guys recommend? Let me know in the comment box down below, because to be honest, I haven't got the foggiest. Now, one thing I have noticed down here guys, on the rear diff, there is a little bit of a play. I don't know if you can hear that. So there's a little bit of play and a little bit of movement before it starts turning the rear. So you guys let me know in the comment box also, is that normal, that little bit of play? Or do we have sloppy diffs? Do we need to do something about that? Do we need new drive shafts? Is it something in the diff, or is that completely normal? You guys let me know, because I do not have the foggiest. And moving on to the front axle, you can see this is cleaned up quite nicely as well. So with a little bit of a sandblast, that should all come up really, really nicely. You will notice we don't have a radial arm there, or a radius arm, but we do have one there. I tried to take it off and it absolutely fought me. It was a nightmare. So this one here, I've had to burn the bushings out and all sorts, because one bolt, this bloody bolt here, would not come out. You can see this inside sleeve of the bushing. Well, basically that's not welded solid, but seized solid to the bolt that went through. It would turn, but it would just not come out. I bashed the shit out the end of that. I did all sorts. I've grinded, I've burnt bushings. Oh, guys, I've done all sorts. In the end, I just had to bend and rag the shit to get this out of here. So this is all bent now, unfortunately. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is take off this front diff at some point, take these bolts off, and then put some iron or steel bars, like blocks, the ones I've got from a press, I'll put them in there. Then I'll just get a load of heat on this and I'll just try and hammer it back to shape. I think that's all I can do really. It's not ideal, but I could not get that thing off for love nor money. And I've got the same issue down here on this side. There's just one of these bolts here that again is seized solid to the inside sleeve of that bushing. So I think the only way I'm going to do that is maybe a little bit more finesseful, a little bit more gently than the other side. I think I'm going to grind off that side, and then if I take this off, I can maybe drill out the end of that and then grind off the head of the bolt on the other side, and then hopefully the whole thing will just pull out. But God, absolute nightmare. Anyway, you live and learn. So the hubs are off, both hubs are over here, front side and ear side. I've not been able to get the discs off yet. They are seized solid. I'm sure there's an easy technique, so again, let me know in the comment box guys if there's an easy way to get the hubs off from the discs. The brake calipers are here. One's not too bad looking, one's really crusty and really rusty and pitted. I'll be honest, I'm not going to waste time trying to refurbish a set of, I don't know, £100 calipers. I'll just buy a whole new set with discs and everything, and we'll stick them on instead of those. So we're getting there. It's great to be in the new Popper workshop, and I'm looking forward to doing some sandblasting and some mechanical restoration on these heavy beasts. But as you can see guys, this build is starting to get quite expensive now on Dad's Garage Wallet. So if you haven't liked this video already, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, because that really does help me to carry on making videos on rusty junk just like this. And don't forget guys, you can also now buy Dad's Garage a coffee if you're feeling really flush, and all the pennies that I get from your coffee donations will go straight back into this project. Oh, but obviously guys, I don't expect you to buy me coffee. That's just if you really want to. You guys just watching this video, giving it a thumbs up and leaving me amazing comments that really help me out is more than enough. So thank you so much, you absolute legends. Right, on that note, thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.